Welcome to another gorgeous day on planet Earth and another day of Dose of Did You Know, where intriguing, inspiring, unique individuals come to talk love and life and how all of that jazz has brought them to where they are today. And with me all the way from Seattle, he's in Seattle today, my friends, is Mr. Nate. How are you?
I am so good, Danny. Thank you so much for having me back.
I'm excited to hear not only where your life has brought you, but where from the last time we talked, where life has brought you to now. So before we get going, fill everybody in about who you are, because it's pretty dang amazing, if I have to say so.
Awesome. Thank you. My name is Nate Zeleznick, and I am the CEO and one of the co-founders of a company called Vibravision. Now, what Vibravision is it is something that my brother Mike and I were gifted from one of the royal families of Indonesia as the first non-Indonesians to ever be allowed to learn their system of martial arts and combat, but also meditation, breath work, energy development, and a multisensory ability called Vibravision, which allows us to, in a way, rewire our body and our mind to be able to perceive things without our eyes the same or as accurately as somebody with eyesight, including for people who are blind. And that's really our passion project, is to help the visually impaired community. But we have this training available for everybody, whether they have vision or not, because fact is we're all blind in some way. There's things we don't see. And this work is so far next level, like beyond any other kind of meditation work that's available, that it helps us really unleash I should say reawaken the parts of us that we're usually not aware of, but are so beneficial to our lives.
It's kind of funny. I always say, gosh, things are so perfectly placed in life. And when people come in or conversations I have, it always just wows me about how legit when you are in line with who you are, even if you screw up, right? We're all going to screw up at some point in our life, or daily, multiple times a day, that happens to me sometimes. But when you try and you put focus in really living your truth and leading with love, how conversations come up. So we have reconnected and you're here now. And funny, but for the last couple weeks now, I have known of this imbalance in myself and realized how I'm not seeing things clearly. I'm seeing things through these tainted, like beer goggles, right? I'm seeing myself and my actions through my own goggles. I'm kind of manipulating what I want to achieve. And so just everything that you just said kind of even help with that, not just the actual concept of being able to close your eyes and see things, but that part of you that you're never really going to see, but you have this complete understanding of when you are totally BSing yourself and when you're not.
Amen. Absolutely right. Well, and I've heard it said many times, actually, from different places, that a lot of people are very big proponents of prayer and other people are proponents of meditation. And really, when you think about this, prayer is asking the universe or your God for something, right? Meditation is listening for the answer. So if all you're doing is talking all the time, meaning all you're doing is praying all the time, but you're not ever listening or looking for the answer, don't be surprised when nothing comes. So a lot of people are now they're being very interested in meditation and breath work and internal work, especially with COVID. We've had, for most people, more time on our hands, more free time on our hands. And, they say idle hands is the devil's playground. But they can also be the angel's playground, meaning you can use that to either get in trouble or you can use it to improve and to better your life.
Yeah.
And for so many of us, that's what COVID has done. It's been a massive pivot shift in our lives, whether it's professional, family, health-wise, or just simply spirit and our soul. We've had to do things different and look at things from a different angle in our life that I tell you, it's It's not just the new normal, because the new normal people kind of think of as, oh, well, we have to all wear masks and people are getting sick and dying and there are all these restrictions. They think of that. They see the glass as being half empty. But really, if you just think about it, it's a glass with water in it.
Right.
So that's just the new normal. But the new normal for so many people has been one of deeper connection, better connection with their family, better internal knowledge, seeking, self-employment, uh, and it just really um, forcing, if you will, a lot of us into a place that we never would have gone because we were in our comfort zone before.
Mhm.
We've had no chance, but no choice, but to go in a different direction and find a different path. And it's always the right one. We're always on the right path, no matter what. We're
Right.
for our
So how do you find, and maybe do you teach on this in through that, or you learn this skill of, I do believe in praying. You have to ask and foresee what you want, or you're not where you're going to go. You're going to follow an empty road. You're going to just be lost, right? But then how do you balance that off with you're truly listening to what is inside you, not like maybe what your ego wants you to hear, or like fear-based. I think all those things are like based off of an improper usage of our ego. So do you teach that? Do you help people understand the importance of the two and how to incorporate those two things?
Without a doubt. Well, as far as prayer is concerned, that's unique to every single person, how they're going to do that based upon their religion, their denomination, or what they believe in. However, the law of attraction and using the power of intention with a elevated emotion to then be able to receive that which is
Mhm.
coming from the quantum field, from the universe, if you will, that is something that we specialize in. And, we've had
Mm.
so many people, people that have been master prana healers for 20 plus years, people that have taught yoga in India who have come to our classes, people are master martial artists, world renowned. And every single one of them agrees that everything that they've done before is accentuated with the Vibravision modality. It's
Mm.
like ours is like the nitro that
Yeah.
are a supercharger for anything else they've ever done, but it also stands alone by itself as next level meditation and energy work practice that gets people really strong embodied results. There's
Right.
a lot of stuff out there is woo, very woo, and like way beyond people's ability to conceptualize. That doesn't really jive with my belief systems.
Yeah.
But what we're doing, that's why we've taken 22 years to prove this to medicine and science, is we can break it down into a very systematic,
Mm.
do this to get this, and you'll go from point A to point, oh my God, in very little time, and then be able to recreate that, oh my God, at will in your daily life, every day of your life. But only on the days you want to feel awesome, right?
Yeah.
Some days, some days we just don't, it's okay.
I want to sit in my it today. I'm going to own sitting in my it today. You know?
Some days that's our lesson. That's where
Yeah.
our
I have a question. Have you ever listened or read Wayne Dyer's book on intention?
I have not. I am a fan of Wayne Dyer, but I've not read that book.
I just started it. So it's funny that you brought it up, or I'm listening. Like some books I read and some books I listen. And this one, you want to know why? I love his voice. There is something very soothing and just like penetrates me when I hear Wayne Dyer. Oh, I wish he was still around, but so I could hear him more. But it's about intention and how intention is it's something that you give and receive. It's an energy that is out there, and I never put like that concept together of it being like this energy, even though I understand everything is based off of energy. Like, what are your thoughts on that whole intention thing? I heard you bring it up. I don't know. I'm just
Absolutely. I've had so many experiences where I tend to manifest fairly like very quickly, like nearly immediately in a lot
Mhm.
of cases where I will be standing in an airport and I'll think, wow, it would be really nice to meet this celebrity, and bang, they run into me in 30 seconds later. That happens on a fairly regular basis. Uh,
Yeah.
Not as reliable as I would like to. Okay, three, two, one, and
Yeah.
Oprah. Wow, next thing you know, she's in the apartment building where I'm at.
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
Uh, so maybe not like that, but this is something where manifestation, no matter what, we're always manifesting, whether it is based upon our emotional state and the frequency and the information that we're putting out with our energetic field. This is
Mhm.
quantum physics right here. So if we are, yeah, there's an old saying that the better it gets, and the worse it gets, the worse it gets. And so
Mhm.
that has a lot to do with our state of mind and our state of emotion. So when we are in this downward spiral, downward emotional spiral, it seems like just stuff gets worse. The
Yeah.
more we think about how bad it's getting, it gets worse. The same thing also goes within the ascending emotional spiral. And the better it gets, the better it gets, and we get to be more and more fulfilled and happy and at peace. And so, when it comes down to manifestation or intention, intention is focused thought to create an outcome, right? That's what
Yeah.
we have, an intention to do something. That means we want to do something and have a result at the end. Well, that can be done, and it should be done, all of us, first thing in the morning when we
Mhm.
wake up and we're still groggy, that's the time to say something like, I expanded awareness, success, perfect health, and love every day. And I inspire those around me to do the same. Something that is
Yeah.
expansive and is going to help pre-frame our entire day and our attitude. Because, like Dr. Judge Dispenza, I don't know if you're familiar with him.
I do. Yeah. I've actually seen him in person and talked with him. Yeah. He's a
Yes,
cool person.
likewise, a wonderful man. But he's got a very interesting way of explaining this, where everything in the universe is energy. All energy is has a vibration. All vibrations have a frequency, and all frequencies carry information. So if we look at that our feelings and our thoughts and what we say, they don't just carry a frequency of the sound. They carry, it's like a spell. We're spelling, right? We're saying a spell. We're creating something with our words. We also create it with our thoughts and with our feelings, because we're always emanating a frequency and we're emanating information. And the quantum field of all possibilities is listening to that at all times. And it's just simply giving us what we're resonating. So we can say, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm happy, I'm free. But if we feel like we're chained, like we're not good enough, like we're unworthy, like whatever it might be, that we feel that way, doesn't matter what we say, the feeling is going to resonate and emanate that frequency
Mhm.
much more powerfully, and it's going to draw that experience to us. So getting to a good feeling place is the most important part when it comes to down to intention, manifestation, but also being grateful and being a receiver of those things. Because I
Right.
don't know, do you know anybody that you give them a compliment, they're like, no, 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 and they're just
Yeah. Like
they're
they reject it.
exactly. So it doesn't matter what you manifest in your life. If you manifest it and then reject it, and you have to have both parts of the equation. You have to speak, and that's our intention. You have to listen, and that's the
Mhm.
receivership, and appreciate it. And the more appreciative we become, the more we manifest faster. And that's something that we are starting to really work with our energy work with Vibravision. And we have an evergreen course for the first time ever. No one in the history of ever has ever put out the basic foundational energy exercises of the Marpati Bhuti system. And now we have them available for people to purchase on our Vibravision.academy page. And we even have a coupon for people to get a very big discount if they wanted to go there. It's Nate
Yeah.
500. Nate
Native,
500.
that's an easy one. It'll also be posted in this little link. So easy clicking. I'm all about ease of things, because that was going to be my question of, do you have the foundation? Does someone have to have a heightened knowledge of these things? Like, I'm constantly trying to evolve, but I will not say I have a heightened knowledge of, emotional intelligence and self-awareness, but I am striving till the day I die to accomplish those things. And when it gets better. Like, I know when I'm in that downward spiral, and I know that I need to flip it or nothing's going to happen. And that thing of manifestation, like you said, sometimes I can manifest super uber fast, and other times, because I haven't I'm still sitting in that fear that kind of you're not worthy part. I don't know, I have another way of putting it of that. And it kind of sucks when you know that's where you are, but you're like, oh, I'm just not letting myself out of there. I just am refusing to evolve out of it. So is it fair to say that that basic course that you just said is a great, no matter where you are on that level of understanding you, I feel like it's an understanding of you. It's gonna just maximize what you know, no matter what level you're at.
That's one thing that we've done with the Evergreen course is there are some things. Imagine that you are going to college. Well, okay, if you're going into Math 101, that's a basic math class. But if you're going to advanced quantum theory, well, you're going to need some other things to help you, like a lot of other things to help you understand what's going on there. With our Evergreen courses and our online courses, they are for the person who has, say, 20 years of yoga experience and meditation experience in an ashram. It's also for people that have never meditated a single day in their life, because it's a lot more than meditation. It's an actual embodied practice where we create electricity in our body. If you have a body, this is for you. If you have a mind, this is for you. There is no prerequisite. And in fact, a lot of times people who come in with oh, I know that. Oh, I don't, they get the least.
Yeah.
We're like curious. What is this? Wow, what am I really feeling? Oh, holy cow, I can feel my energy. I can heal my body. We had a lady in a workshop that we just taught about 3 weeks ago. And we taught the first exercise in this Evergreen course, just the first one. And it took about 10 minutes. And that's all, about 10, 15 minutes. And she was sitting there with a nasal cannula in and an oxygen tank. And at the end of the work, we asked for questions and answers, Q&A time. And she was crying. And my brother, Mike, who's the chief instructor for this art for North and South America, it's the highest ranking non-Indonesian on the planet in the Merpati Bhuti, or the White Dove martial art and energy system. He asks her, what's wrong? And she's crying. And she's like, I've had long COVID since April. I haven't been able to breathe. I'm on an oxygen tank. This is the first time since April I've been able to breathe right.
Wow.
So, the thing is we have, there's another thing about the law of attraction and intention. You can have the great feelings, you can have the fantastic visualization, but it does require some action.
Yeah.
You can't just, eat Snickers sitting on your couch on your butt and then say, okay, I want to win the Powerball. You at least have to buy the ticket. You have to go get the ticket. So the thing is these exercises help people feel fantastic in their body, but also fantastic in their mind and in their heart. But it's not just sit down and listen to one hand clapping. It's an actual movement, breath work, breath holding, and meditation work that it's like a recipe. It's a recipe. Awesome. You've got all the different ingredients, and then you do the work and you feel it. That's the oven. And then you get to bask in the creation that you've made and take the rest of your day.
I kind of feel like when I'm listening to you that it's something that you can just repeatedly do and become a better master at it, because you're starting from a different place. Like you start here, and then the next time you do it, you're a little here, and it kind of goes about it. I got to share because it's really cool. Travis, he's out there, he knows this about the master of intention. My friend Urata, she's beautiful soul, Lithuanian fashion designer, but this is like her jam. So I'm gonna have to send this to her. But she always says to me, she's like, Danielle, you manifest things so fast. We will talk about things, and then I turn around and it's happening, right? I feel like, one, because it's not a controlled thing, and two, it's that constant evolution. I always go into life, or even looking at myself, from a clean slate. Like, I don't know, I'm completely different today than I was yesterday. I'm completely different now from this interview than I was, before we started. But this is my cool newest manifestation thing that just happened. So I'm out bow shooting with my son. It's a new thing we picked up together. Well, he did, and I have picked up, and he comes with me. And I said to him, we just shot like And I said to him, I said, have you ever done a Robin Hood? You know, when the arrow comes and then you shoot into it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, but my youngest son, he's like, Brett, you know, did years ago. And I'm like, that lucky bastard. He got the luck of the Irish, even though there's no Irish in him. Like, that kid can just, if he puts his mind to it, man, if he like did some good intention stuff, he would be crazy. I was like, that's so cool. I'm like, one of these days I'm going to do that. Like, I would go crazy if I did that. I went up, he shot his normal thing. I went up, shot one, boom, shot two, Robin Hood it. Like,
nice. Wow.
Completely after. That was my newest and most proudest manifestation that I've ever liked.
That's awesome.
Manifestation. But don't you think it's because not just that, but you have to come into it with it almost like an ignorance of an intelligent ignorance, if that makes sense at all.
Well, I would say hopefulness, but not expectation. If you're hopeful, then you're hopeful and you have that emotion that is not capped. But if you're expecting, and this obviously can be said for relationships as well, it's when you start expecting that we have any room for disappointment or being let down. And if something doesn't happen, or if the person doesn't do what we want them to do or we expect them to do. And so, being hopeful and seeing that coming to fruition, but not being attached to the result.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that. Being hopeful, but not expecting, like that. Yeah. Cause you leave the door open just for that crack of being let down, you know, when you expect that just that sliver in. And man, it's like a mouse. They can get into anywhere, you know, they can
just a little teeny gap and you got it. Yeah. So that's, I agree. 100%. Congratulations. I've never actually heard of anybody doing that and splitting the arrow.
Yeah, I kept it. It's a souvenir. I will never ever get rid of it. Like, I'm like, I am so glad that we reconnected because this is super cool. And I love now that it's online, because before we met, it was like a course and just time never worked that I could like take the time and make it out there and experience this growth for myself. But now the simplicity of being able to just do it from wherever. Thank you, COVID.
Yeah. Well, and that's with our online program, we're going to be actually launching more and more online programs. Now, the full Vibravision training, where we teach people how to see without their eyes, how to tap into that intuition to make the most amazing business decisions, to feel what's happening within themselves, but also the people around them, with their family, and connecting, having intuition that is as rock solid, reliable, and accurate as possibly hope for, really, for most people. And then also this manifesting people, especially for business people. But for a lot of your viewers who are veterans, this online course is wonderful. We've had just absolutely stupendous results for people who have PTSD or who are athletes who want to increase their athletic performance, because the breath is such a big component of it. Athletic performance goes through the roof, but so does our ability to de-stress and calm ourselves down, especially in the face of anxiety and things like that. It's a really amazing.
You have so
but so for the big full shebang, people still need to come to learn the Vibravision from us in person. But now we're also starting to do travel and immersion. So if somebody really wants to get a group together, we can come and travel to them.
Oh, well, that's cool. Convenience. See, I love convenience. You're talking my jam, Nate. You're talking my jam.
People talk, we listen. It's just
Oh, that is so cool. I am so glad that you came on and shared a little bit. I feel a little bit more pumped up, just a little bit more understanding, a little bit more receiving. I can just like feel this. So thank you for that. And before I let you go, I ask that you answer this with the first thing that comes to your mind. You don't even have to explain it to me. Just answer the question. In this moment right now, what does love mean to you?
She's in the other room. So I'm here at Seattle. My wonderful soulmate and life partner, Maura, her name is Maura Barclay, and she's an amazing intuitive leader and coach for coaches. And we met at a Joe Dispenza event. She was laying next to me, and I had a full out of body experience. And I was shown she's your one. And she just happened to be laying next to me. She's from Seattle. I'm from Utah. We met in Cancun. Who would have thought? And so here we are, like a year and a half later, and traveling to see
Yeah.
each other, especially even with COVID.
Yeah.
So the what love means to me, I can tell you the person. Her name's Mora, but what it really means to me is finding that person, and especially for yourself, to accept you as you are, to
Mm.
love you no matter what, to be patient with you even in your darker times, even when you're having those days,
Hmm.
and still loving unconditionally at the end.
Mm. That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your heart. Thank you for sharing what you're doing and continually evolving what you're doing. So thank you for not like laying down, throwing your hands back and saying, ah, to everything that's going on, making change. All right. To everybody else that is out there watching, as always, love hard, love pure, and love proactive. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.